When we face a medical diagnosis for ourselves or our families, there is an inherent expectation of mechanical precision in every single detail. If you break an arm, the X-ray reveals that jagged white line. The doctor points to it and says, "It is clearly broken. It is binary and clean." We know exactly how to treat it. We crave that same precision when it comes to feeding our dogs. You buy the expensive bag with a healthy wolf on the front, pouring the exact recommended scoop into the bowl with a sense of security. But if we drop a French fry, we feel a wave of anxiety, as if we are taking a reckless risk with our friend's life. However, when you look into the actual science of neurodevelopment and cellular aging, that comforting precision starts to look broken and incomplete. That perfectly measured scoop of kibble begins to look less like a scientific prescription and much more like a massive industrial compromise. We need to explore how chronic inflammation is quietly stealing our dog's vitality, hidden beneath the surface of their daily meals. Most modern dry pet food is essentially the human equivalent of eating shelf-stable survival rations for every single meal from birth to death. To understand this, we must look at the foundational myth. The idea that your dog is just a wolf in a different coat. The marketing is brilliant, but it falls apart under genomic scrutiny. Dogs are not wolves. They are classified as omnivores with a carnivorous bias. A landmark 2013 study found that dogs possess 10 specific genes for starch digestion that wolves either lack or have in much lower activity. Dogs adapted to survive on our non-meat leftovers. The dogs that could digest starch were the ones that survived during lean winters. In 37 BCE, Virgil wrote about feeding mastiffs not raw deer meat, but whey, the liquid byproduct of cheese making. Modern anxiety is misplaced. In the last century, we traded farm scraps for convenience, leading us to the violent physics of extrusion, used to create modern dry food. This mixture is subjected to extreme thermal stress, exceeding 150 degrees Celsius, and injected with high-pressure steam, forcing it into a fluid slurry. The food explodes out of the high-pressure environment, a process that effectively obliterates its molecular structure and vital nutrients. Subjecting raw nutrients to such heat and pressure causes denaturation, chemically altering and destroying vital elements like taurine. The industry then relies on synthetic supplementation, spraying artificial taurine back onto the kibble after the damage is already done. You destroy a natural, bioavailable complex and try to patch the hole with an isolated synthetic chemical. It is a fundamental flaw. The lack of taurine leads to the panic over grain-free diets and dilated cardiomyopathy, where the heart becomes dangerously enlarged and weak. Grain-free diets swapped corn for legumes. These ingredients may inhibit a dog's ability to synthesize or absorb critical taurine from their food. Pet owners are stuck. Feed grain-free, you risk heart issues. Feed traditional grain-based kibble, and you face a different threat: mycotoxins. A study found that 75% of tested traditional dry foods contain measurable levels of mycotoxins, essentially chemical poison from mold. Extrusion kills the mold but not the toxins. Chronic exposure puts immense strain on the liver and suppresses the entire immune system. We are feeding for convenience, not health. This constant intake of processed material triggers a slow-burning systemic fire: chronic inflammation. Cheap fillers like corn bran and peanut hulls act as foreign irritants, causing low-grade inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract lining. Diets flooded with omega-6 fatty acids from cheap oils become a biological disaster, providing the building blocks for pro-inflammatory signals. By feeding these highly processed oils, you are essentially handing the dog's body the matches and the gasoline to start a fire. You don't see the fire. You see the smoke damage, aching joints, itchy skin, and a loss of that youthful vitality. In the joints, chronic inflammation leads to osteoarthritis, where cartilage is under constant attack and fluid becomes thin and watery. In the skin, it manifests as relentless dermatitis, hot spots, and chronic paw chewing that never seems to end. In the gut, it becomes inflammatory bowel disease, where the lining is so scarred that the dog can no longer absorb nutrients. At the deepest level, chronic oxidative stress and inflammation cause DNA damage, a primary driver of canine cancer today. Visceral fat is an active endocrine organ. An overweight dog is, by definition, a chronically inflamed dog. Using drugs to shut off pain is like snipping the wire to a check engine light. The light goes out, but the engine will eventually seize. This is why we need to explore the antidote: Whole human foods, packed with dietary polyphenol that fight inflammation. Polyphenol act as biological personal trainers, screaming at the dog's immune system to get in the gym and strengthen itself. Blueberries contain anthocyanins that cross the blood-brain barrier, protecting older dogs from cognitive decline and brain aging. Broccoli contains sulforaphane, which can physically lock the factory doors on the NF-κB pathway, the master manager for inflammation. When a dog eats a polyphenol, the body perceives it as a mild foreign toxin, triggering a profound biological workout for the cells. Leafy greens contain quercetin, nature's antihistamine, which stabilizes mast cells to prevent the release of histamine and allergies. Dogs lack the enzymes to break down tough plant cell walls. A raw carrot often passes through their system completely untouched. We must use mechanical or thermal breakdown. Pureeing vegetables in a blender exposes the nutrients directly to the dog's enzymes. Steaming vegetables like broccoli softens the cellulose while retaining vital phenolic levels, making them perfectly bioavailable for your dog. Green-lipped mussel contains a rare fatty acid called ETA that blocks joint pain pathways while providing the bricks to rebuild cartilage. Turmeric must be combined with a healthy fat and black pepper to increase absorption by up to 2,000%. Plant-based diets can work, but they must be meticulously engineered in a lab to provide essential nutrients like EPA and DHA. Attempting a homemade vegan diet is incredibly dangerous and can lead to fatal bladder stones or total skeletal collapse. A diverse array of plant fibers transforms the gut microbiome, producing postbiotics like butyrate to heal the gut lining. We can prove this works through clinical assays like the Folin-Cyocalta reaction, which quantifies the antioxidant capacity in a dog's blood. This test definitively shows how whole foods increase the body's ability to neutralize damage and maintain cellular health over time. Green-lipped mussel contains a rare fatty acid called ETA that blocks joint pain pathways while providing the bricks to rebuild cartilage. These mussels provide glycosaminoglycans, the actual bricks and mortar needed to repair damaged joints and restore smooth movement. Turmeric or curcumin is a powerful tool that can reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines, the chemical messengers of systemic pain. It must be combined with a healthy fat and black pepper to bypass the liver's metabolism and increase absorption by 2,000%. A 2023 systematic review found no evidence of detrimental health impacts from properly formulated and balanced plant-based diets. Dogs can thrive on these diets because their biological requirement is for specific nutrients, not necessarily specific raw ingredients. However, these diets must be meticulously engineered. Vegan diets require algae oil for EPA and DHA, as dogs cannot convert flaxseed. Attempting a homemade vegan diet is incredibly dangerous and can lead to fatal bladder stones or total skeletal collapse. When formulated correctly, a diverse array of plant fibers transforms the gut microbiome, feeding beneficial bacteria for long-term health. These bacteria produce postbiotics like butyrate, which heals the gut lining and acts as a systemic anti-inflammatory throughout the body. This gut health connection might even solve the grossest behavior, coprophagia or eating feces, which baffles many modern pet owners. High-protein, poor-quality meat diets can lead to putrefaction in the hindgut. This is literally rotting protein inside your dog. This creates odors that a dog's brain might interpret as a viable food source, leading to this strange and unwanted behavior. Switching to highly digestible, balanced diets often stops this behavior entirely by eliminating the putrefaction in the gut. Our dogs share our environments, and their microbiomes have evolved to mirror our own over thousands of years of living together. If a highly processed, inflammatory diet is hurting them, we must consider what our own modern diets are doing to our bodies. Healing our dogs by following the science of whole foods might just be the first step in waking up and healing ourselves. We must dismantle the paralyzing anxiety of the precision trap and explore the hard biological science that leads to vitality. Giving an organism the biological tools to thrive and repair itself is the true meaning of vibrant, disease-free life. It's time to step away from the marketing myths and look into the actual science of longevity and gastroenterology. High heat processing creates advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which literally caramelize your dog's internal proteins and tissues. These compounds act as metabolic glue, stiffening arteries and damaging kidneys, effectively accelerating the biological aging process of your dog. Whole human foods provide biologically active moisture, unlike the dry, dehydrating environment created by a life lived on kibble alone. The gut and brain are in constant communication. A calm, healthy gut leads to a calm, happy dog with stable moods. The body recognizes natural complexes far better than isolated synthetics sprayed onto kibble to patch the holes left by extrusion. By choosing whole ingredients, you eliminate the silent threat of mycotoxins found in 75% of traditional feed-grade grain foods. Biological science shows that the right nutrients can trigger DNA repair, protecting your dog from the invisible fire of chronic inflammation. You are giving them more than just food. You are giving them the biological tools to reclaim their vitality and joy. History and science agree. Human-grade food is not alien to the canine tract. It is their evolutionary baseline for survival. Protect their hearts with real nutrients, moving away from the processed compromises that lead to dilated cardiomyopathy and chronic weakness. Polyphenols are the gym trainers of the immune system, making the organism stronger through controlled biological stress. We can slow down cognitive decline, keeping their minds as sharp as their senses through the power of plant-based anthocyanins. Healing the gut is the foundation. A strong barrier prevents toxins from entering the bloodstream and starting the fire of inflammation. The future of pet care is here. It is a world where we feed for cellular longevity, not just industry convenience. Our health is tied to theirs. By healing our dogs through real science, we rediscover how to heal ourselves and our world. Dismantle the precision trap. Challenge the status quo. Choose biology over marketing every single time you fill the bowl. Stop surviving. Start thriving. Because your best friend deserves a life as vibrant and disease-free as the science allows. Everything is connected. Everything starts with the bowl. Reclaim their vitality now. The end.